Are you ready for deeper meaning and bigger dreams in your life? Do you believe it can happen? Amy and Lorianne are here to clear the confusion and help you live life full out, guided by your inner wisdom to create, amplify, and align you with your highest self. Are you ready to attract a divinely blessed life? This is Living in the Faith Frequency.
Well, welcome to Living in the Faith Frequency podcast with Amy and Lorianne. And as you can tell, this is not the ideal circumstances. I don't know if you can hear the dog barking in the background. I'm in the bedroom. There's a lot going on in the house that I'm in right now. Amy was like, let's just not do it today. And, sometimes you're not feeling like it. Sometimes there is not the perfect situation or the perfect timing or whatever. And I just said, let's show up today because we're not just showing up for ourselves. We're showing up for you. And we have been committed to this message for over a year now and really wanting to share with you how living in the faith frequency, it is not perfect. It doesn't look pretty sometimes. Like I told her, I said, I am hot and sweaty and my hair's all up. And I mean, it is not the perfect situation today. But guess what? That's life. And sometimes you just got to show up, not just for yourself, because this really does help me too, to show up like this and not be in that perfect situation, but even to just encourage Amy in telling her story and in showing up when maybe we don't feel like we're being inspired or led or guided right now. But I feel like we're always living with that divine guidance. And my daughter calls it the green gumball. So if do you want me to tell you the green gumball story, Amy?
Yes. What is the green gumball?
So my daughter loves the color green, loves it so much. And she was up at the university, up at the college, and she was having a really, really, really bad day. And she felt like God wasn't listening anymore. She felt like her family wasn't there. She felt like her friends weren't there. She just felt like, bleh, like life was giving up on her. And she had some money and she put it in this gumball machine just to try and help herself to be happy. And out came a green gumball. And she like almost cried because there were all these colors that could have come out. And just that little thing, she felt like God really did care about her in the smallest little area of her life. And so she always tells us stories now, and she'll say, "Can I tell you a green gumball story?" So, even at the times when we think we're walking alone, there really is two sets of footprints in that sand when we're only seeing one. I love that story. When you're only seeing that one set of footprints in the sand, it's because God's carrying you. And those are the times when we really, really realize we're not doing anything on our own. We are being guided and directed but sometimes we just have to allow it. And as we were talking today, you even said that. You had said, sometimes I just was so distracted and had so many things going on. And once now that I have started to just not have all of these distractions, you felt like you were getting more messages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually have felt John's presence a lot more. And there's signs, there's synchronicities that happen. And I think, like the green gumball, it's like you have to pay attention to how things are working out for you. And when you're looking for how it's working versus how it's not working, you find it, because whatever we seek, we find.
Yeah.
And so, there's going to be moments where we're not flying real high and we may not feel like we're at our best, but it's like what you said, it's a commitment and it's showing up And, even having the willingness when you're like, oh, let's go ahead and do the show. I'm like, do we have a solid topic we want to talk about? And she's like, let's just get started. And I'm like, okay. And I had the willingness to say, let's just do this podcast and let's just show up and let's, the living in the faith frequency, the more that we talk about it, the stronger my faith becomes, because we're activating
Yeah.
this energy state of believing in something before you see it, having faith in what you want, and knowing, first of all, having faith in yourself. And it is like, just show up, just show up. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just progress. And as long as we're acknowledging the progress that we're making as we show up, and as we do what lights us up, what's on our heart. It's not going to light us up all the time, but we know that it's something that is dear to our hearts. And so, this message, I feel like is really needed now, in a time of all kinds of uncertainty, and to continue to check in with yourself and just say, what do I need today? And to appreciate, what I always like to ask, what's 5 things you appreciate? And keep life in perspective, because we can lose perspective when we get too heavily into the problems and the things not going right and what we dislike and complaining and blaming and all of that. That just lowers our vibrational state. And when we care so much about how we feel in our connection with God, with Source, we'll do whatever it takes to elevate our frequency into a lighter state. And when we start realizing that is how we're attracting everything in, and we do that work, just the willingness to do a little something, or just uh, listen to a podcast that brings you back into perspective, that helps you understand the power of your own mind, that you have control over it. No one has control over it. You do. And when we take out distractions, we take out avoidance, and we just face our fears, face ourselves, face what's going well. Like, when we can face everything, that gives us the strength for each day, everything that we need for that day. And we were also talking about, when you've gone through the things and you found your way, like, those are the people that have the greatest strength, because they have they've not only survived, they've learned how to thrive through the adversities of life. And that those will always be coming towards us. And we want to have a resilience, see about us, an attitude of, we'll find our way. We don't have to have certainty. We will find our way, and breaking it down to one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. I have a dear friend whose wife passed, and they were high school sweethearts. And I remember we've worked together, and when I was going through hard times and stuff, he'd be just like, one minute at a time. And so I had the opportunity to remind him that that's, when you're feeling so much grief and sadness, it's 1 minute at a time. Find, as his son told him, find the beauty in things, and you'll see mom.
Yeah.
And take time to look for the beauty in life, even when you are feeling great sadness. We're all, you know, changes happen in life, grief, losses, all of it. It's part of life. And how do we pick ourselves up, and how do we look for the blessings in life?
And you know what? We have that same friend, and I'll have to share what happened because I sent him a message also. And I have not known him near as long or intimately as Amy knows him, but I just saw that he had shared that his wife had passed on Facebook. And I immediately just got tears in my eyes. And I just thought, oh no. And so I sent him a private message. And, we kind of messaged back and forth. And he had said, everything that there is beauty around. I just want you to think of her. And so I was watching some butterflies that morning, not even realizing that that's when it had happened. And I was watching some butterflies, and so I sent him a message, and I said, every single time that I see butterflies, oh, here's my husband, Ray, in the middle of our podcast. Say hello.
Hello.
I even said to him, I guess I said, stop, but he's got to get his phone. Remember when we said everything that we're doing is not perfect? So here you go. You just got the so not perfect moment. But there's Ray. Anyway, so getting back to the story of the butterflies. So I'm sitting there watching these butterflies, and I sent him a text message, and I said, every time I see a butterfly now, I'm going to think about her. And he sent back crying emojis because she had a butterfly tattooed on her shoulder. And how would I have known that? I never would have known that ever. But that divine guidance that I got in that moment, that I had that moment that morning, it was pure coming from me. It wasn't anything I could have ever made up on my own. But just living in the faith frequency helps us to know when some of these things that we are being prompted to do or say, that we follow through with that, and that we really share that message, whether we believe it or not, that it's going to help. I had no idea that it was going to help. And he just sent back this long message and just crying. So that's so tender that we get to share those moments with each other. And grief is a real thing.
It is. And I love that you follow your prompts. You do that often, and you've done that many, many times as I went through John's transition and stuff. And they're so special. So as we pay attention and listen to those prompts, we don't always understand, and we think, oh, it's no big deal. But if you feel the nudge, take the action, and you never know the impact that it's going to make, especially when someone is going through grief like that. Just knowing that they're not alone, and people are thinking of them and thinking of his wife. What a tender moment, and so special.
Yeah. And now I know I can always just send a little butterfly and just say, thinking about you. And he will know tenderly that it really is something that I'm just sending him some love.
Yeah. And that is what the world needs, is more love. So
More and more tender.
And more, yes. So
Well,
that
Amy,
is
thank you for showing up today and really sharing. And I know that you said that you've been tuning in more, and John has been coming through in a lot more messages through other people. And so that's where living in the faith frequency and helping us tune in really, really helps us stay on track. So today, as you listen to this, I hope you get to feel that sense of love and deep appreciation that we have for each one of you.
so well said. Until next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Living in the Faith Frequency. Keep shining, keep aligning, and keep trusting your inner guidance as you live your life full out. We are here to guide you as you step confidently into your faith journey. Be sure to subscribe and stay connected. Check out the show notes and let us know what topics would you like to hear next. On behalf of Amy and Lorianne, we want you to keep talking, keep dreaming, and keep feeling blessed.